Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic, Stephen A. Smith takes unwarranted shots at former co-host Max Kellerman. Look, I want to make sure I say this, and I want to make sure that my point gets across on this, because one thing that I've always preached on this channel, the way that I hold myself, is to have integrity, right? If somebody usually goes and does something a little out of character or everything, I don't let it destroy things. What I do is I say, okay, you know what I'm saying, that was jacked up or whatever else it is, but I'll still garner and say, hey, look, as long as it stays there, we can move past it, certain things like that, and we could build on it to get over it. You know what I mean? And that level, and you guys have seen it in multiple stuff, because I've had people come to me in live and certain stuff, be like, oh, this person said this or said that. What did I say? I said, look, man, I'm trying to let peace reign. God bless everybody, and hopefully everyone does well. That's been the energy. Now, the reason why I say that is because we have somebody named Stephen A. Smith. Now, if you have not heard of Stephen A. Smith, that's because you've lived under a rock. He has been the face of ESPN for approximately the last 7 or 8 years. And he had, during his stint as being the guy, that means after Skip Bayless left ESPN to start his own show, Undisputed, on FS1, he was, for 5 years, tied at the hip with a man named Max Kellerman. Now, Max Kellerman, as we all know, was a boxing expert. Like, everybody, if you watch boxing, HBO, all that stuff with it, you know who Max Kellerman is and was. And you respected him for his boxing acumen and outlook on fights, potential fights, understanding of fighters' styles. Like, he was an absolute, every time he talked on boxing, he was a virtuoso. Every single time. So he joins with Stephen A on First Take to try to replace a Skip Bayless. Now, you'll never replace a personality like Skip, but he tried to do his best and try to make it his own without being Skip. Now, Stephen A has taken to the Joe Budden podcast to absolutely denigrate that man even further than he's already done, humiliating him. Because Stephen A has been feeling himself very, very much since the acquirement of a Shannon Sharpe. And he's letting everybody know that he's the man, that everything that goes on bad, he has nothing to do with it. And anything bad that goes on, he's always against it, and he's always trying to rectify it. So I'm going to play a little skit, a little clip, right, of what he said on the Joe Budden podcast, right? And then we're going to break it down. And so, you know, I will try to block out all the curse words. I think there's one or two, but bear with me, okay? So without further ado, let's get this party started, all right? So here we go. Oh, it's not going. Okay, hold on.
It's just that damn simple. I didn't like working with him, man. It's just that damn simple. I didn't like it. I thought the show was stale. I thought that we had flatlined when it came to the public at large. Dang. And I'm trying to win. I mean, but you weren't an athlete and you weren't a journalist. And the absence of the two components left people wondering, why should we listen to you? Okay, well, you might have had that figured out on Sports Nation, or you might have had that figured out on another show. But on this show, if you looked at the content emanating in the social stratosphere, meaning YouTube and other components that you use to measure one's cachet, Q ratings, focus groups, all of these different things, it was like I was damn near doing the show by myself because we were oceans apart in terms of cachet. Well, how are you oceans apart from me if you sitting right across from me? I've been very honest and very consistent about it. There's nothing personal. We weren't enemies or anything. To be real, we ain't spoke since. Other than high and by, you know, or if I had to go on the show when they were doing the morning show, I would get interviewed. But there's been no conversation since, and that's fine with me. That's no problem, because it wasn't like we were boys or anything like that.
Now, so I'm gonna cut it right there because I was kind of getting tired of the drivel. Look, I'm gonna be real, and this is kind of hard because you wish for the best for someone like a Stephen A. Smith. You understand where I'm coming from? And look, this is the Wunderkind Show. We go there at times. You know, as somebody from my background and stuff like that, you wish for somebody like Stephen A. to garner as much traction and get to the top of the mountaintop as quickly and successfully as possible. And that's and most let's say black men will wish and say the same thing. We all usually say the same thing. Here's where the problem is. He has done nothing but try to hit out at multiple people for no reason at all. And I'll say this. The reason why he feels that way about Max is not because Max was boring. It's because Max was ingratiated by the black community during social topics. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Terrell Owens thing. You remember when Terrell Owens went up there and was just like, Stephen A. is coming off like Max is blacker than you. Matter of fact, I'm going to play it so you can hear what he said. Check this out.
The full workout, to see the full Colin Kaepernick. Again, you mentioned obviously Max is going to get in here. Like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with his comments, with his commentary.
Time out. With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute. Wait to finish.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to check you right now. You don't cross the line.
I'm just saying.
So that's that right there, right? That's the clip from the Terrell Owens situation. And there was others. There was one when Snoop Dogg and I believe Magic Johnson went up there and Max started speaking, and then he was speaking so eloquently that they were all like, "Preach, Max, preach." And you could see it on Stephen A. Smith's face, like, bro, like, why y'all all siding with this man? He's not us. You know what I mean? And I think that's where it comes from. And look, I get it. As a black man, you never want somebody from another race being given credence over you, especially in the social world, from your people. But here's the thing, and I want to make sure this point gets across. It was never like Max was pandering. The topics in which Max chose to speak, he always gave front run to Stephen A. and he would give his viewpoint, and he would always take a step back. Even during the Terrell Owens interview, he was like, go ahead, Stephen A. He didn't want to say that because he knew. And there was even a part after it where they were like, yo, Max is invited to the cookout. And I remember that really irked Stephen A. Because Stephen's like, I don't need no access or pass. I make my own cookout. You can get, and then looking at Max, like taking out his anger on him. So when that had happened, and if you were part of Twitter or any social media platform, you can remember people was like, oh yeah, Max is done. Stephen A. getting that man out of there. Straight out of there. And guess what happened? So you get him out of there. Fine. He's no longer on your show. You continue to take shots at him? We're not talking about a man that did anything to you. He did nothing to you. He spoke nothing but highly of the show, of his time with you, with the opportunity that was afforded him. And he went on to do other things. And now ESPN eventually has let him go. Right? And he's done nothing but say, hey, nothing to say. Only time he said anything, I respect everybody and I love the opportunity. Thank you guys so much. It's so much love. And you have punched down at him every single chance that you've gotten. And we've all been seeing you doing it even to Skip. Now, look, I'm not saying any of these people are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But what I will say is Stephen A. Smith has alienated a lot of people with more than just his bravado. You got coming from? There's a level. Stephen A. Smith talks, the way he talks and handles himself, he talks like he guarded Michael Jordan in the finals and shut him down and held him to 12 points. He talks like he held Jerry Rice to 2 catches for only 24 yards. He talks like he was the one that got the interception on Tom Brady would stop them from getting a Super Bowl. That's how he comes off, and it's very irritating. Very irritating. And it does something to push away your audience. Now look, ESPN's First Take, I'm going to be real with y'all. ESPN, as much as he's been bigging that thing up, Disney has been failing. They've been looking for potential buyers and suitors for ESPN because they've been losing subscribers like nothing. And guess who's been getting a whole bunch of subscribers? FS1. That's why the acquirement of Shannon and of McAfee or McAfee, whichever way you say his name, was so integral and important to Disney. That's why. Because they were like, we just need faces that can make people just come in. Forget building up talent or showing new talent. We need already popular, socially driven media characters that can bend and push the needle. You understand? And I'm gonna be real with you. I watched him next to what's it called? Sharpe, Mr. Sharpe. And I didn't see nothing super spectacular. A lot of people's bigging it up. I watched it. I was like, oh, it's good. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing like, oh my God, this is the must see TV. Like, you remember when the Joe Budden podcast at first started, I was like, yo, this is must see. You know what I'm saying? Or when First Take first started with Skip and Stephen A, like, yo, this is must see. You gotta watch it. Like, I'm not getting that from Shannon and Stephen A. I'm not. I am not. I'm seeing two guys celebrating, but here's the kicker. And this is where Shannon even needs to be careful, right? Stephen A has thrown almost all of his co-hosts under the bus. Now, everyone's going to say, well, he only threw the white co-hosts under the bus. That's a lie, because Will Kane is his guy, and he never threw him under the bus. Anybody that makes him feel even a little uncomfortable, or anybody that the media, meaning social media, right, agrees with over him, becomes a target, becomes an enemy, because nobody can stand in or eclipse the light that he thinks he is emanating. Just like, remember when Mariah Carey went on, he was just like, and dimmed down the lights when she was on the Breakfast Club and had direct lights only on her. She's like, well, and I think it was, what's his name that said, hey, they're not going to be able to see it. And she was like, exactly, darling. That's what you're getting from Stephen A. And it's sad. Because, you know, I was one of the guys that were big when he first came in and said, hey, I got to watch this guy, support him. You know what I mean? He's doing big things. It looks great for us. There's a way to do things. And the way that he's doing it is wrong. Now, I don't know if he'll change or anything else like that. But it doesn't look like he's going to. So if Stephen A ever sees this, I'm asking you, brother, please take a step back. Reevaluate the way that you do things. Please. We know that you've reached high heights, and we're very happy for you. But there's always a way to do things. There's class that you do it also. And in the way you're handling it is not classy at all. There's always saying, keep it classy. This is classless. And a lot of people expected way more from a Stephen A from doing this. This could be one of the things that starts the deterioration of the show even after the acquirement of a Shannon Sharpe. We're going to get to see. What do you guys think? Do you agree with Stephen A Smith, or do you agree that this is all based off a hateful jealousy because the black community was agreeing with Max Kellerman? Let me know down in the comment section, please. Because, like I said, this is crazy. This man went off the Richter on this one. But that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. And how we get down, we have fun and we laugh. But everything we talk about rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. You know I love the comments. And if you have not done so already, check out The Wunderkind Show's Patreon. Yes, 3 tiers of content goodness available for your consumption. Bottom of the screen, QR code if you want to lead a donation also. QR codes lead to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. And the name of it is The Wunderkind Show. But once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. This show is not just signing off. And as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here.